Good day. For the next 2 days, we're going to be talking about an important topic. What do you do? Let's begin with a thought experiment. Your boss calls you into his office and delivers the good news, bad news spiel. The good news is half the company is being laid off, but your job is safe. You're not going to be fired. The bad news is your salary is going to be cut in half. Ready? Are you in the scenario I just laid out? What was your immediate reaction? Was it, that's it, I've had it, I'm going to start looking, and the moment I find a suitable job, I'm out of here? Or was it, gee, that's too bad. What do I have to do to cut my expenses and help build the company around so I'm back to where I was and even better? This is not a trivial question. If the only thing that is holding you to your job is your paycheck, then it's a very sorry state of affairs. Let me tell you a story. Medieval times, there was a great famine in the land, and 3 lads from a village came to the metropolis in search of opportunity, basically in search of something that would keep them alive. And they found a job in the household of a prominent artist. The artist came from the same village, which is why he hired them. Let's call them John, Paul, and Peter. The artist was a demanding taskmaster. He bought stones from caravans coming from faraway places and had his assistant beat them with a hammer till they were crushed to a fine powder, and then douse that powder with foul-smelling liquid and then dry them on fine muslin. He had them scour the mountainside for rare plant and sent them to find earth of different colors. From all of these, he created the pastels and the hues that distinguished his paintings. John frankly hated the work. It was too onerous, and the only reason he did it is because he couldn't find any alternative. Paul did not particularly like the work either, but he thought it was somewhat better than his friend who worked at a blacksmith's office and often was so tired he could barely swing the hammer. Peter, on the other hand, was intrigued by what the artist was doing. He asked questions, and when he was not rebuffed, he asked more questions. And that is how he knew that the artist was searching for a particular shade of red. And he thought that one of the plants that he had observed, when boiled, would provide that color. And he tried it, and it was true, and the artist was mightily pleased. The artist was called to paint a mural in Rome, and he shut down his household. John was dismissed. Peter was paid a niggardly wage in order to look after the estates while the master was away. But Peter, the artist, asked Peter if he would like to come with him and be his apprentice. That's pretty much how life plays out. If you're John, you will be dealt hard blows. If you're Paul, you will scrape by. But if you are Peter, you will flourish. No matter what the circumstances are outside, you personally will come out on top. So look at your life right now. Are you facing situations which you consider adverse, which bring you down? See if you can somehow convert that into a game. Try this exercise. There are many things you do in life that you find distasteful, such as meeting with disagreeable clients, having dinner with in-laws you dislike. Can you convert each of these occasions into a game? Let me give you an example. I went out for dinner with my daughter and we went to a good restaurant, but the service was terrible. The waitress was rude and had a long, melancholy face. My daughter was getting more and more annoyed when I stepped in and said, "Hey Gauri, I bet I can make her smile in less than 30 seconds. My daughter thought it was easy money and took the bet immediately. I went up to the waitress and in 15 seconds she was beaming broadly. I came back to my daughter and collected. And now every time we go to a restaurant and the service is terrible, it becomes a game with us. Can we make the waiter or waitress smile? Think back to the situation that you find disagreeable. Is there any way you can convert it into a game? Can you arrange it so that your boss, your toxic boss, actually behaves like a decent human being because of something you did? If you succeed, wonderful. If you failed, you had a lot of fun trying. See how many things in your life that you find difficult actually become bearable, even enjoyable, if you can convert it into a game. And by the way, would you like to know how I got the waitress to smile? I must confess I cheated. I went up to her and said, "Listen, I have a bet with my daughter. Would you please help me by smiling? And if you do, I'll give you $20.